Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for watching today. Today is Monday, December 20th. Already holidays coming up here. So, today is about follow up. But first, I'm going to start with a story. I'm going to date myself here. So, for anybody that's under 40, I want to say definitely under 30, you might not even understand a time in sales where these things happen. So the story is this: follow up. And the point I'm going to be making is how today's day in technology and society is so much easier than when it was. So I'd like to tell about when it was. So now that I'm 51 years old and have been in real estate almost 30 years, next year will be 30 years in real estate and having my license. So 30 years ago, follow up was this: being at the office, no cell phones, didn't have a cell phone, had a car phone within a few years after that, which was stuck in my car. But follow up was sitting in the office on the office phone trying to get a hold of people when they were at home between maybe 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. And this part of the story is I used to sit there on the phone with a crisscross directory of addresses and phone numbers of people in my geographic area that I wanted to service, and just start calling and keeping track of that. And the agents in my office, agents in the area, all had the same list, had the same ability to phone. And when I would used to call people and get a hold of them, every once in a while we get people that started getting caller ID and see the number starting to come through, and I was calling from the office phone. So sometimes I would call people and go, I've already talked to someone from your office, they're calling me too. I always took that as good and bad. Good, there's a colleague of mine in the office that's calling these people. Bad, I didn't get to them first. But I was always really, early on in my career, was really dumbfounded by the people that were in my area that never heard from a realtor. When there's hundreds and hundreds of realtors in the area, we have the same phones, we have a list of them, and that's the only way we're going to get a hold of them. There's no social media other than we're door knocking or calling them on the phone. That's the only way we're communicating with people. And how many people I used to talk to that did not have an agent that ever called them and was there for them when they're ready to sell, and how few of them got calls over the last few days or weeks. You would think that every single person I talked to, because that's the only way we got a hold of people, the only way you can network with people or get through people is picking up the phone, and how few people, agents, were doing it. Now, I know back then I had, especially, and almost everybody had some type of fear of that phone, because we were calling people. Imagine picking up the phone and go calling, can I talk to your mommy or daddy? I mean, how many times I used to call people are picking up the phone, or we're in the middle of dinner, or they're picking up the phone in the kitchen. I could hear their mother or father or speak, or some people had call waiting. You know what that means is it would beep and you would be able to take another call. Not all people had that. It was busy signals. And then I'd call people like, I'm so sorry, I'm on the other line with someone else and we can't talk to you right now. Or there's one phone in the house and we get a hold of someone, maybe one of the children, and they were like, I'm sorry, I'm on the phone. You'll have to call back later and talk to my mom or dad. And then we wouldn't know when to call back because the children were on the phone, or another member of the family's on the phone, and how long were they going to talk? And there was only one phone line for the whole family. So the point I'm making today is, still statistically 10% of agents Don't follow up with people more than 3 times. And years ago, it was so much harder. Everybody didn't have their own phone line. Everybody didn't know who's calling, and when they pick up thinking it's their friend or family and you're calling, they might yell at you. You're like, why are you calling me? It's the middle of dinner time. It's it's end of the evening. It's too late. Today, you could get a hold of people 24/7. Everybody has their phone with them, even if they have other jobs. We couldn't get a hold of people during the day because they were at their jobs, and we don't have their work number, and we can't call them at work because their jobs would not allow them to take personal calls. Today, unless you're a factory worker, I don't even know a job where someone doesn't sit at their desk, whatever job they have, with their personal cell phone with them to take calls, texts, look at their social media. So today, I'm trying to express to everybody agent out there, even the agents that are, or let's say in their 50s or higher, and you want to take your business to the next level. Imagine what you had to do 30 years ago to get a hold of people. And you should be thankful for all the tools, technology, and the society norm of being okay with contacting people through phone, through text, through instant messenger, through social media, 24/7. And it's socially acceptable to do that. We had to stop, or just saying, when should I stop my calls? 8 o'clock? 9 o'clock? Is 9 to 10 p.m. too late to call someone at home? Today, almost people used to shut down at 9 o'clock, like time to watch my TV shows that are not recorded and not on streaming, and don't bother me during my downtime with my family watching in front of the TV after dinner, or get very upset. Today, people they don't care. They'll sit at the dinner table texting someone. They'll sit in front of the TV. They'll pause the show they're watching and take a phone call. So please, today is the day that you got to put the bothering people, I'm worried, I'm scared of the phone, I'm scared of contacting people, I'm scared to follow up with people, until they are upset and say, do not call me ever again. Do not stop. Do not stop. That's your job, is to follow up with your prospects. Anybody that's you think is going to be a possible client someday in the future, they will be buying or selling. Doesn't matter today, doesn't matter tomorrow, doesn't matter 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You've got to put them on a timeline and figure out how often you're going to follow up. And I said this in a video last week. It amazes me, which is great for agents getting into the business over the last few years, is because agents, of the 1.5 million realtors across the country, because so many of them haven't been following up with their sphere and people that they know, and their children and their children's children, and following up and being that resource for them, it opened up the market to any new agent could get new business. So if you have been in the business just a few years, imagine all of those clients that you've had so far, and just think, why did they use you? Why did they not have someone following up with them that's been in the business 10 years, 20 years? Why did that not happen? And how you could avoid that for your business 10 years from now. You go, I don't want to be, these are my clients for life. These are people I'm going to follow up with and make sure I'm connected to. So when they buy, and then those people, when they have families and they have kids, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, and there's agents that are in the business now going, wow, I'm selling the kids of the parents that I help buy or sell. And I have agents now in my office that are helping grandkids of the kids of the people that they built a relationship of. you know, 30 years ago because they sold a house to them and now there's a children's children. So think of that. Think of these clients for life, and it's the follow up. It's not just the follow up of the people, these potential new business, it's the follow up with the people that you had business with. And some agents think that because you bought or sold a house with them 5 years ago, 2 years from now, they're going to use you again if you're not following up with them and staying front of mind with them. I think the statistic, I don't have the number, but I know it's low, is that anybody that has bought and sold a home more than once, why, and you got them as a client, why didn't they use their agent that they bought a house or sold a house from 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Obviously, everybody buying or selling a house today is not a first-time home buyer or a first-time home seller. And think, why are they using you? Which is good for you, well, bad for the agent that they had before. And also, one other tip too, is that if it's your buyer and or seller, agency stops after the sale. What I mean by that is you can follow up with the other client. So I coach all my listing agents to, when you sell a listing to another agent's buyer, you follow up with that other buyer. There's no stamp on them after closing it. These are their customers. And chances are 87% of agents get out of the business every 5 years. So when that listing, that when they're ready to sell 5 years from now, 7 years from now, 10 years from now, there's a chance, 87% chance their agent they used to buy that property is out of business. So follow up with them. You should follow up with every one of your listings. Sign them up for some type of mailer. Call, check in on them, see how they're doing a year from now on their anniversary date. Because guess what? I bet their buyer's agent is not following up with them. And their buyer's agent might be their goofy brother-in-law that they wouldn't even think once of helping them sell their house, but use them to buy a house. So follow up is the key to success in real estate. I wanted to get that point across today. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching on this Monday, the 20th of December. Remember, use me as a resource. Call, text, email me anytime, and I'll set the time aside for you to help you with whatever you need. So that's it. Have a great